Hi and welcome back to Quinmo Paw Creations tutorial videos. Today I'm going to show you how I do peyote stitch, and I'm going to make a beaded lighter case. I used size 11 seed beads, John James beading needles size 11, size 0 9 beading thread, some scrap commercial tan leather, and a small mini bic. I take the scrap leather and I make a case around the lighter with the smooth side next to the lighter, so it's easier to slide in and out once you get the beadwork done. I do a little simple stitch attaching the two sides together, pulling it in all the way down the back side. You want to have it snug but not too tight, because you need to be able to pull the lighter out to replace it when it's empty. And so you just make sure it's just the leather just meets itself around the lighter, and I just sew that back and forth stitch all the way down to the bottom. And once I get down to the bottom, that makes the whole kind of body of the lighter case. I always make a small piece and attach it to the bottom of the lighter. Just draw around the shape of the lighter, cut that piece out, and I put the smooth side facing out because I use, not only is it the base of the lighter case, but I use it when I burn the threads. I use that smooth side to rub the burn threads so I don't burn my fingers. Burned my fingers many times by doing it, rubbing it with my fingers. But leather workers use they have lighter cases and they use the bottom, so that's what I use. The smooth side doesn't burn as much as the rough side would, and that's just burn it and rub it off. Then you can't see the knots or the threads, and the smooth side doesn't, like I said, it doesn't burn. And that's the casing that you'll use. So you're gonna I attach my thread to the leather at the bottom of the lighter and put enough beads to go all the way around so that they meet right at the end. You want enough beads to go all the way around to make it snug but not too tight, so because you'll need to be able to slip it on and off. I got 52 beads around this mini lighter. This is the step up stitch I'll be talking about. You go through the last 2 beads at the end of every row. So now you're going to start the peyote stitch, and all it is putting one bead on at a time and setting it one on top of the other, and you're going to skip every other bead. So you put on a bead, skip a bead, put a bead on through the next bead. So you have every other bead is what you go through. And that's basically all peyote stitches. Getting your beads to set. The first and second rows look real rough, and don't stay where they need to be. I don't usually worry about it. I just go through the first row first before I start trying to tighten it up, because it's difficult to manage. So then you're gonna do your step up stitch, go through those 2 beads to get to step up to the next row. And then your next row, you'll be going through those beads that you put on. And the beads that you put on created a space. And that's where your beads will set in. So your second row just nestles those beads right in. Just kind of pulling it real tight, pulling them snug, arranging them. Like that first row really looks a little tough, but your second row will start looking better. So you're going to go through and put 1 bead on at a time, and they're going to set in those spaces that were created by your first row. And that's peyote stitch. You just build on those rows, going through and putting your bead into those open spaces. I usually kind of pull it real tight at the end of each row, and after the second or third row, it'll start forming and getting a little more stable. So you do your step up. And start your next row. And you start your design. Real simple. You can create real simple designs. My thread got short, so when I need to change threads, I'll show you how to change a thread, or how I change a thread. I just weave my needle back down through at a diagonal down. In this case, since I'm to the end, I'm going to weave it all the way down to the bottom, so it's sticking out the bottom. That just weaves my thread down into the beads. I don't have to tie a knot because that will hold it real secure. And when I snip it off, I'm going to burn it. So when you burn the nylon thread, it creates a little bit of a ball when it melts it, and keeps it from coming out. And I get a new thread, and I'll get the diagonal row that will make sure that I'm coming out where the bead is that I need to be starting to add the next bead. So I find that diagonal from the bottom up, and I just weave my needle back up through. I do it diagonal because then you can't see the thread. It's kind of blended in as you weave it into that all the way up to where you need to be. So just be sure you're on that diagonal line. That's going to get you to come up, and you'll be coming out where you need to start adding that next bead. So and then once I get that weaved into where I need it to be, I can start beading again. But I have no knots in it, and snip them off. Leave a little bit because that's what's going to melt and create that ball.
You what? Look, having little talks with Alice is my territory, not yours.
Well, look, it was an accident. Like I said, I'm sorry.
Those are the threads you can burn them in.
Concept for a kid. I don't
You can't see them.
Come on, Alice. Good night, Mommy.
Then you'll start your simple designs. You can do some real simple designs. Really study how those beads sit on top of each other. I don't do graph paper designing. I just let the design make itself when I'm beading, or I look at other people's work, get ideas. There's really not a whole lot of different designs that I make, but you can make it look real good with just some simple lines. Studying a lot. Pinterest has a lot. And that's your beaded lighter case. Just finishing up, and that slides in and out. When your lighter is empty, you just put a new one in. And simple as that. Like I said, you can really study how the lines go, make your design. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video today. You can come by and join my beading circle group on Facebook. Please answer all 3 questions or I won't add you. Or stop by my website, www.quinwaupaw.creations.com. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.